What's up, football fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel. Giving a shout out to the rest of the crew. Shy, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. And for everyone who's tuning in, we thank you for supporting Behind the Bench and subscribing to the channel and helping the show become the best that it can be. Man, oh man, oh man. Let's get right to it. Football season has kicked off. In particular, the NFL season kicked off last night, Thursday night, prime time. NBC, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City is trying to complete a three-peat in the NFL, win 3 straight Super Bowls, which has never been done. There's a couple of teams that have went back-to-back, such as the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, the San Francisco 49ers in the 80s, the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, and the New England Patriots during the 2000s. But we've never seen a team win 3 straight Super Bowls. And Kansas City Chiefs has a chance to do that. And they start the season in grand fashion on opening night by defeating the Baltimore Ravens by the score of 27-20. And man, when they say football is a game of inches, man, it came down to a toe. A big toe last night as Lamar Jackson. He played good last night. And he threw what was called a touchdown in the back of the end zone, a leaping catch by receiver Isiah Likely. But when they show their replay, man, and that toe barely crossed the back of the end zone, out of bounds, man. Woo, man, you hate to lose a game like that. But, hey, all you can say is Baltimore had their chances. They had their chances. And there was a series in the second quarter, I believe, more so than that touchdown that was overturned and called an incomplete pass. There is a series where Baltimore, in the second quarter, early in the second quarter, mind you, they went for it on fourth down, 4th and 3. I believe they was at the 46 or 47-yard line. And they attempted to go for it on 4th and 3. And the play call, they did not go vertical. The pass was more like sideways. It was parallel. And that gave the defense plenty of time to react to it and stop the play. And as a result, Kansas City gained possession and wound up scoring a field goal on that. Whereas if Baltimore, instead of overturning on downs, if they would have punted, you play in a field position game, and you're going to pin Kansas City deep in their own territory because you're kicking it darn near from midfield. And time of possession on the clock. You know, it's a game, man, where you have to, when you play in a game like this, where these two teams battled each other in last year's AFC Championship game, you have to, and Jim Harbaugh is a darn good coach. He's one of the best coaches in the league. But what I think may have led him to attempt that fourth down is because of the running threat that Lamar Jackson is. Instead of, calling the game conventionally and punt the ball and play the field position game, he went for it and it didn't pan out. And Kansas City got points off of that. and momentum. So these two top ranked defensive teams in the league, and you go for it on 4th and 3 early in the second quarter. You didn't have to do that. I believe that may have cost them the game. A play like that, when you wind up losing the way Baltimore did, you have to call a consistent game, and don't put your team in a position where they can wind up losing. And that's what happened last night, I believe. Both quarterbacks played well. Patrick Mahomes, he threw for about 291 yards. Now, they did pick him off last night. Baltimore did intercept. They got an interception on him last night. But I'm afraid to say, man, I'm a fan of Baltimore and how they play and how they style of play. But ultimately, when you have a running back like Derrick Henry, who you just signed this offseason to bolster your running game, and he only gets 16 carries last night. He only got 16 carries last night on the road for 43 yards. You can't do that. He needed about 25 rushing attempts last night. And if they give him the ball the way they should have, there's a high probability that instead of losing by the score of 27-20, maybe they win by the score of 27-20 because you're controlling the clock in a way that you're controlling that line of scrimmage. But at the end of the day, I'm afraid to say Lamar Jackson, he is a dynamic player. And this debate about who's the better runner at the quarterback position. Is it he or is it Michael Vick? And it's real close because Michael Vick, man, when he was at the top of his game, they called it the Michael Vick experience. I think Michael Vick is faster than Lamar Jackson, but I do think Lamar Jackson is the better runner because of a lot of plays they call for him to run, whereas Michael Vick, when the defense, zone in on a play call by the Atlanta Falcons when he started off in the NFL, that's when he went into scramble mode. But Baltimore calls a lot of running plays for Lamar Jackson. I believe he's a better runner than Michael Vick. It's close though, but I'm gonna give the edge to Lamar Jackson. And I know he's the 2-time league MVP, but what's missing in his game is being able to make that throw that you absolutely have to make to prevail. And until he does that, I don't think the Baltimore Ravens can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Kansas City Chiefs, really, truth be told, they probably played their C game last night. They didn't play their A game last night. They played it. Travis Kelce, he had a subpar game compared to what he normally does out there on the field. And Kansas City, they ran the ball a little more than Baltimore, but they didn't just dominate in the running game. But they did just enough to win. Both teams played solid defense last night. They played solid defense. I just think it comes down to that fourth down play by Baltimore in the second quarter where it was 4th and 3, where they should have punted the ball and played a field position game. Trust your defense because you have one of the top 2 best defenses in the league. And I think it may have been a better outcome. For the most part, Kansas City is not going to beat themselves. They're not going to do it. And I'm telling you, man, if they meet up again in the playoffs, more than likely it's going to be in Kansas City. And sometimes Kansas City gets the luckiest outcomes, man, because that toe, man, if he catches that, if I don't know what size shoe Isiah wears, but if it was maybe an inch shorter, they score that touchdown, and more than likely they probably go for the 2-point conversion. I'm not saying that's what they should have did, but I'm thinking the fact that Baltimore has not beaten Kansas City. I think they're 1-6 in the last 7. Over the last 7 matchups, they may have went for it on on a 2-point conversion. But that's what it comes down to, man. That's what it comes down to. I don't know if Lamar Jackson can complete that last stage he needs to defeat a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. Well, he's going to have to prove it. That's what it's going to come down to. And you're going to have to run the ball effectively. If not, Baltimore, they'll be a playoff team again, and they may get to another championship game, but they're not going to be able to beat Kansas City unless he absolutely makes the throw that he needs to make when he absolutely needs to make it. Because sooner or later, when you get older, when you was an exceptional runner at that position at quarterback, sooner or later them legs gonna give out. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna have the same speed as you once did, and you're gonna have to eventually start throwing that ball. I'm talking about really throwing it, and that's what's holding them back. And like I said, I like Baltimore Ravens. I'm a fan of the way they play, but Kansas City is not going to beat themselves, and they trying to be the first team in the Super Bowl era to win 3 straight championships. Can they do it? Well, it remains to be seen. Odds are that they cannot, but like I said, man, they can prove all the doubters wrong at the end of the day. So I just want to do a quick video on that. Great way to start off this football season, the 2024 NFL campaign. And once again, the Kansas City Chiefs, they survive at home and defeat the Baltimore Ravens by the score of 27-20. Until next time, this is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.